Rev up your engines! Alright, many people want a big SUV. This is a 2017 Nissan Armada. Now I gotta say, it is a nice looking SUV. Got a V8 engine. In this case, it's the base model, so it's only rear wheel drive. Well, as we look under, okay, so there's just wheels in the front, no front wheel drive. Well, guess what? Many people, myself included, say we don't need no stinking four wheel drive. That big V8 engine, rear wheel drive, this baby can tow over 8,000 pounds. And as we look in the door, check it out. J, made in Japan, where they make them good. One, it's got hood struts, so you don't have to stick that stupid metal rod. It's got a powerful V8 engine hooked up to an actual 7-speed automatic transmission. And that real 7-speed automatic transmission is a big deal because I did a late model Pathfinder when the Pathfinder was made in the United States, not Japan. Pathfinder had a V6 engine, which is a very good V6 engine, not the power of this. But, and this is a gigantic but, that Pathfinder had a CVT transmission, which blew when it had 90,000 miles, and connected to that CVT transmission, the rear differential in the Pathfinder broke at 70,000 miles. This thing, nothing is broken on it yet. And it's got 117,380 miles on it. Well, I do have to say something's broken. You can see the tire pressure monitoring system flashing. So I got my fancy Autel TPMS tire pressure monitoring system scan tool out. Turns out that all 4 wheel sensors are dead. No surprise in a vehicle that is 8 years old and has the original valve stems all the way around. The way they work is the tire pressure monitoring system. Inside the valve stem, there's a battery and a sending unit that sends the pressure to the computer. The critical word here is battery. The batteries are all gone. They're worn out. You got to spend a ton of money taking the tires apart, putting new sensors in, and reprogramming them with the machine that I have, or a comparable machine. There's various ones out there, but most of them have the battery ones inside the tire stem. And the batteries just wear out over time. They're just sitting there. How long do you think a flashlight battery is going to last if it's turned on all the time, right? It's amazing they last as long as they do. Now, the guy bought this used about 20,000 miles ago and hasn't really had any problems other than the tire pressure monitoring system. As you can see, this isn't the fancy one. It's got cloth seats, but look at the cloth seats. They're still in phenomenal shape. We'll check the back. Look at the room. Driver's seat's way back. Look at that room. Armrest, space. Now the back seats, they sit back a little, but I mean, a lot of people never use the back seats. You can if you want to. It's a big vehicle, but you can use it for storage too. And of course, you can pop these down and have a real long storage for carrying stuff. It's a very utilitarian vehicle. You can control your temperature here. You get nice power plugs for your computer stuff, phones. And look, you even get a back one. Hey, not just the front gets one, you get one back here too. Isn't that cool? The front guys, they get the front part. Look at that, pretty cool. You can put the tranny for snow so you don't slip. You can put it in tow mode. This baby can tow 8,000 pounds. You can turn the traction control off if you want. The wood grain is nice. It says it's 2017, so yeah, it's got a CD player, you know. Now, the main reason the owner brought it to me is because he wants to decide, shall I keep this thing or should I get rid of it? We're going to do a full scan of it and see. Now, as I said, before this, I did a Nissan Pathfinder, and it showed that that transmission was starting to go out. Again, it was a CVT. It had a CVT judder code, right? Let's see what this one does. This one was made in Japan. It's got the J VIN number, so they make them a lot better in Japan. That's for sure. The Pathfinder was made in the United States. Nowhere near the quality of this thing. Well, start her up, doing its thing. Look at those cool graphics. Round and around the car goes. Whee! You can see these are gas hogs. This thing is getting 16.7 miles a gallon in city driving. And this thing gets 19 miles a gallon on the highway. So, they're big vehicles, giant V8 engine, lots of horsepower. They're normally aspirated, they don't have turbos and all that crap, so they're solid engines. They can last a really long time. They can pull 8,000 pounds, but gas mileage is not one of their fortes, as are they in any other giant SUV like this thing. Now, while scanning, we'll check the car out. Dash is in good shape. No sunroof. We don't need no stinking sunroofs either. Very comfortable seats. It's got the navigation system and stuff, but everybody uses their phones these days. That's pretty much meaningless stuff. And if you're curious about the scan tool, you can see here's all the information. Think scan 689 Bluetooth. BT, that's what the BT stands for. So I find it to be a great scan tool. Now it's a little bit slower than my higher end ones, but last I checked it was $566 on Amazon. It does an awful lot of stuff, but hey, it's $566. $5,000 hotel is much, much faster. But look at that, it's almost 10 times as expensive too. So this does quite a bit for what it is. It's just a little bit slower. It's going to have a slower processor and it's got a smaller screen. Here we go. He's got ECM control, the battery temperature, battery current sensor. Now those are tripped because his battery kept draining, and he did a little research online and he disconnected that sensor system. And since he disconnected it, he no longer has the battery dead. When he comes and sits it for a weekend, doesn't use it, and goes to start it up, it was dead. It's not draining it. That system had a problem. Well, who really cares? He doesn't. He disconnected it. The codes will never go away. It's also got a code for the sun load sensor. Okay, the sensor, it senses the temperature and adjusts up, but the AC still blows. The air pressure monitor, none of the sensors work. There's 4 of them. 8, 9, 10, 11. They're just worn out from age. We already knew that. Code for the vehicle height system. This is an adjustable system. And he did notice that the car sits a little bit low in the back. Sometimes you can reset it. There's vehicle settings. We'll reset all the settings to the default. See if that fixes anything. If it doesn't fix anything, that means the air suspension in the back is wacky. And as myself and other mechanics will tell you, it's a great system when it works, but when it breaks, there are so many things that can possibly go wrong. Makes your head spin. As you can see, still they got 3 fingers. Didn't raise it at all. Now we're into the system here. We get to active testing. Okay, the compressor's off. Okay, let's turn it on. I hear it pumping. You can hear it running. But it's not getting any higher. Check the other side. Now it's still 3 fingers. The front's a whole 5. You can see it turned off. We'll watch it and see if anything's changing. If it was leaking somewhere, things would change, but nothing's changing. Start her up. We'll turn it on again and watch the data. No, nothing's changing. We'll try the exhaust solenoid. It says it's executing it, but as you can see, it's not working, so at least we know the exhaust solenoid is probably bad. As you can see, it's not doing its thing. It's trying to. There's the compressor. We'll do the compressor. We'll turn that on. You can see the compressor. It's executing it. And you can hear the pump coming on. But it's not making it go up, even though it's turning the pump on. And we tried to execute the exhaust, it wouldn't work right. And changing that part alone or reconfiguring the system at a Nissan deal is going to cost you over $1,000. So if it sits a little bit lower in the back, you're probably going to live with it. As they say, it's a great system while it works, but when it breaks, start forking out the money. First spin, because it's got a decent backup camera. And yeah, the tire pressure monitoring warning system is going to stay on because all of the tire pressure monitor batteries are dead. Smooth. That 7-speed automatic transmission seems pretty good. We're going to take it on the road, try it out. Don't have that horrible CVT transmission that the Pathlanders have. These have an actual 7-speed rear-wheel drive transmission. And hey, it still seems to be working quite well. I would never buy a Nissan product with a CVT transmission, and this doesn't have one. Smooth brakes, nice ride. Even though that air ride suspension is sitting a little bit low, still working good. Ride's nice and smooth. V8 engine makes a nice rumble. And we'll look in the back while there's nobody coming. So we'll slow down here. We'll see what the engine could still do. And we'll see how the transmission does. He was saying that a little jiggle. Here we go. Pretty smooth. A lot of power. That's what these things are for. Now, this thing only has a jiggle like 2nd or 3rd gear when you're accelerating slowly. And the Nissan guys told him, hey, just accelerate fast and it won't happen. And he's right. I accelerated fast and guess what? It didn't happen. They often do that as they age these 7-speed transmissions. When you're going at lower speeds and you accelerate gradually, there, I felt it. There's a tiny bit of hesitation there and that shift. No big deal. These 7-speeds do that all the time. You step on the gas, away it goes. No problem with that. That's just kind of the nature of these beasts. 117,000 miles. You get a little bit of hesitation if you're accelerating slowly. They make those 7-speed transmissions to get better gas mileage. I mean, they're still gas hogs, but it's better than the older ones. They will often hunt for gears a little and get a little clunky at lower accelerations, where the computer and the transmission gets a little worn, gets a little confused as to how to shift. But like I said, when you punch it, it remembers everything and doesn't screw up at all. All in all, it's an exceptionally smooth riding machine. Still got the original engine and tranny, doesn't burn any oil. 8-year-old Nissan Armada. What did I think? Hey, if you don't mind the bad gas mileage, it's actually a pretty well-made vehicle. It's made in Japan. Doesn't have that crap CVT transmission that the Pathfinder had. Things actually in pretty good shape. Sure, the tire pressure monitoring batteries are gone, and the air ride system. All cars with air ride systems, when they break, they cost a fortune to fix, and they always break. My advice, don't buy one that has that crap on it. Or if it goes and it still rides good, live with it. And if it doesn't ride good, take the crap off and put shocks that you can put air in yourself if you want to modify it that way, because fixing these things costs a small fortune. But it still rides really good. It can pull 8,000 pounds, got a big old V8 engine. Hey, the modern Pathfinders, the guy who brought that, he said he'd never buy another Nissan. This guy's happy with his Nissan, but it's an Armada, it's made in Japan, completely different vehicle. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.